Hey folks, my name's Ed Trevors. My pronouns are he, him, and his. I'm an Anglican priest serving in the beautiful parish of St. Margaret of Scotland that sits on the ancestral and on the unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. Gwe. You all know I have a special place in my heart for false prophets. I have a special place in my heart for people who prey on others, who use the faith of others against them in a way to gather for themselves, in a way to gather power or wealth or a position. I've done this video a few times, and I'm trying my best not to be petty and not to bash anybody. I don't want to bash people. I want to learn from people, even when people do things that I find problematic. Anyway, one of my favorite falphets, Hank Kunneman. Hank Kunneman gave a talk the other day, and I stumbled across it. And in that talk, Hank describes how he doesn't want to be called Hank. He doesn't want to be called by his first name. He doesn't want the people of the congregation to call him by his first name. He doesn't think it's proper that we call pastors by their first name. And he goes on to tell us why. He says it's not a matter of dishonoring Hank. Hank's fine with you calling him by his name, but Jesus might not be. All right? Jesus is the one that called him to be a pastor. Jesus is the one that called him to be a prophetic vessel. And therefore, when you call Hank by Hank's first name, Hank sees it that you are dishonoring, well, the Spirit of God, really. That you're dishonoring the title and the calling that Jesus has bestowed upon Hank's life. So we shouldn't call Hank Hank. We should call him pastor. We should call him prophetic vessel. I don't know, whatever other title he may want to, whatever other title he believes Jesus wants us to call him by. Whatever other title Jesus has personally bestowed upon him. There is no place in the New Testament anyway, where I can remember the authors telling us that we should demand of those we are teaching, of those we are leading, of those we are healing, and those we are speaking with, and those in our community, that they must call us by a title. That somehow, somewhere, Jesus has bestowed this upon us, and everyone should call us by these titles. And there's no place where I believe the authors ever tell us that we must use the title of prophet or pastor or evangelist or apostle or teacher. I don't believe there's any place where we as community are told we must call people, we must speak with people, and we must use these labels that Jesus has given them. As a matter of fact, Jesus continuously tells us that this isn't our way. This is how the world does it, but this is not our way. As a matter of fact, in the Gospel of Matthew chapter 23, Jesus has a little bit of a rant himself. He's talking about the Pharisees. And he says, yeah, listen, they have positions of power within our world. And you need to listen to them. You need to do what they tell you. But please, do not become what they are. Do not act like they act. Do not behave like they behave. Do not do as they do. This isn't a good way. Right? They want the power. They want the prestige. They want the positions. They want the authority. They want people to honor them and respect them. They want to be seen at the head table. They want to be seen as people of importance. But this isn't our way. This is not our way. Now, if you go back and you watch Hank's video, where he's describing, please don't call me Hank. If you go back and watch Hank's video, I suspect probably inadvertently, unconsciously, it is filled with language of hierarchy. of us, them, of high and low. He places clergy on a pedestal. He places the clergy in his world on a pedestal. They are pastors. And the people, he says, should not try to bring them down to their level. Immediately there's a problem there. That's a huge red flag. If you believe clergy and laity are on two different levels, you've got an issue. See, I responded to my call to become a member of the clergy of the Anglican Church of Canada. I wear this shirt, I wear this collar. Normally speaking, I only wear it when I'm going out into the world where I may encounter a stranger. But this is just me answering my call. Now, because I've answered this call, it comes with a title. It comes with the title of Reverend. I can put that in front of my name. I can end, when I write my name, Ed, I can end it with a little plus sign, a little cross. Shows that I'm a member of the clergy. But you've responded to your call in ministry as well. My wife has responded to her call in ministry. The people in my parish have responded to their call in ministry. Jesus calls us all. Some he calls to clergy and some he calls in other ways. But the call is of equal importance. The call is of equal importance. There is no need for us to feel as though we must be honored or that we must honor another. And that's not to say we shouldn't show respect or we shouldn't show honor. If you want to call somebody reverend or pastor or doctor, by all means, please do. That's up to you. The issue I have in all of this, and the warning I think Jesus is laying upon us in the Gospel of Matthew chapter 23 and in this example that Hank offers us, is that we should never need it. I should never need you to call me by my title. I should never need you to raise me up. I should never need your affirmation or your validation in my identity. If I do, then all of a sudden my motivations for why I'm doing this come into question. Oh, well, he's only doing this because he likes sitting at the head table. He's only doing this because he likes the fancy robes. He's only doing this because he likes people offering their deference to him. It challenges everything about this walk of faith. And all of a sudden there's a reason, perhaps just a small one, but there's a reason for people to doubt our sincerity. Clergy, laity, we are all at the same level. We are all called by Jesus Christ to do important work in this world. No task any more important than the other. We are not on different levels. We have different roles. We are not on different levels. We have different responsibilities. For us to answer the call that Jesus has placed on our hearts, for us to do the work that we're called to do within our communities, the people that we're supposed to reach, they shouldn't think that we are somehow above them. They should know that we are right there with them. They shouldn't ever be instructed that we are somehow above them. You can't reach people that way. You can't reach the people that truly need to be reached that way. The moment I tell you, you need to call me reverend, or you need to call me pastor, or you need to call me whatever. The moment Hank uttered these words, don't call me by my first name. Call me pastor. Call me prophetic vessel. The moment we make it appear as though there is space between us and them, it's the same moment we put up a barrier. It's the same moment we become a little less accessible. It's the same moment that we sever the relationship we are supposed to be building with every single person within our sphere of influence. We sever and damage those relationships, at least to some extent. We aren't supposed to be like the Pharisees. We aren't supposed to be people who are seeking acclamation and glorification from those we serve. We aren't supposed to be like the Pharisees who want to sit at that head table, who want to wear the nice clothes, who want to be seen as people of power and prestige and importance. That's the way the world works. The way Christians are supposed to work is to set all that stuff aside. To set it all aside and to not seek out validation and affirmation, to seek out praise from those around us. Knowing full well that the rewards we're working for are not earthly, they're not here. They're with God. They're in God's presence. That's where we'll receive them. Here, we are to be servants of all. Here we are to seek to be the least of those around us, knowing full well that those who seek to become first will indeed become last. May the Lord bless you, may the Lord keep you, may the Lord's face be made to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord's countenance be lifted up to you, may you always know the peace of being in the Lord's presence. And I pray that we would be able to set those earthly desires aside, that we could be the people that God is asking us to be. People of community, people of service, people of sacrifice. That we would not ever seek out acclaim and prestige, but rather relationship, authentic, precious, and loving relationship with all those people around us. Amen. Numultus.